Back in the building for another week. Fly Free Sports special edition. As always, your man Fly Free CT. I am here with Ben. Ben, what's up?
What's up, man? Good evening. Good to be here again. I'm on my work computer again. Don't tell my boss.
Shout out to Ben's boss, man. Shout out to him. You know what I mean?
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. We here, man. We here another week. Exciting night, man.
hmm
Exciting night all the way around.
Yep.
Finally, the start of the NBA play. I mean, the NBA finals.
hmm
We've been waiting. It seems like I feel like 2 weeks ago we saw the last game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It
But
felt like it's been like a whole season, like of another sport that happened while we were.
man, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do after these finals. I'm gonna go crazy, but it is finally here tonight, nonetheless. So we're gonna dive into that. You know, give our preview, predictions, and all that. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, game one in Boston. Now, odds makers have Boston as the favorite. I was
Mhm.
kind of shocked by that, kind of wasn't, but just because of the path to the finals, it was kind of off. You know what I'm saying, for them to be the favorite. But how you feel about the series, man? What you think about the matchup? Let's have it, man.
Yeah, I think. So when you talked about the line, I think I just saw it flash up on the screen here. Boston's giving 6.5 points.
Crazy.
Um, that's a lot of points.
Yeah. In a
It's a lot
game
of
one.
points. That's a lot of points in the game one. And what it goes to show is that a lot of the people who are making these lines aren't. A lot of them don't watch these sports regularly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at a team that won however many games, 67, however many games. Boston won in the regular season. He torched everybody in the playoffs. So clearly, they're going to be the favorite regardless of who's
Mm-hmm.
against them, right? But what we've seen and what we've talked about on this show is Boston's path to the finals is probably the easiest path that any team has ever had since they started playing 7-game series in the first round, which was what, in the 90s, sometime
Mm-hmm.
2000s. So
Bar none.
yeah, none of those teams were at full strength for the entire series. They
Mm-mm.
all had a significant player injured for extended multiple games. I think
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, I don't even think he played until the last game in that series, if he played at all.
No
Uh,
50-win teams. They played no 50-win teams.
right. So this animal that has wandered into the TD Garden tonight is not like any animal that they faced so far, because this animal has two heads. One of them was born in Australia, and I don't know if he's still Hotep or not. We don't know. Kyrie, and then the other head is I promise that I will refer to him as Mr. Doncic. So that will be how I refer to him the remainder of this season.
Sir Doncic.
Sir Don, whatever the royal term is for Eastern Europe, where his country is, Czar, whatever I need to use, that's what we're using. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what I think of the game. I don't know if you're ready for predictions for the series yet, but this is not gonna, it's not. Boston's not gonna win this in 5 games. Like, that's not happening. This is gonna be a contested series.
Right, right. Um, wow. So everybody know how I feel about Boston. I despise Boston. I make no I make no excuses for it. I just don't like them. I can't stand Boston. I'm not a fan of Jason Tatum as the number one guy on the championship team. It's just well documented. You know what I mean? I say this shit like every year. Obviously, it's my first year doing this show, so it's everybody's first time seeing it. But I like this matchup for Boston. Surprisingly,
Mhm.
I do. I like their defensive flexibility with the three guards that can defend at a high level. Obviously, Drew Holiday, Derek White, two of the best on-ball defenders in the league. Jaylen Brown, another tough, hard-nosed defender. Um, they just have that guard flexibility on the defensive end, man. To obviously nobody's gonna stop Luka or Kyrie. Nobody's shutting them down, but they have the bodies at those positions to make it very, very difficult for them. You know what I mean? They could put all kinds of pressure on them. They could rotate. You know what I mean? Whether they want to start Derek White on Luka or they want to start Drew Holiday on Luka, the options are endless. You know what I mean, for that backcourt
Yep.
defensively.
Yep.
And obviously the other person who isn't on him will be on Kyrie. So however they want to play that, however Joe Mazzulla wants to figure that out, he has those guys at his disposal. Now, I think it's a better matchup for them as well than the Timberwolves were, because the Timberwolves, obviously, they had a lot of offensive struggles the whole year. That was their problem. They were defensively number one all year, statistically.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have the guard play to match up with a team like Dallas. And we found that out the hard way, especially me, because I picked them. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
with Boston, I don't think that's the case, man. And they score at a higher clip. They score at a higher clip than Minnesota. So I just think, just balance-wise, they have more than enough balance to overcome Dallas, man. I think for Dallas, it's going to depend on how well those big guys play, Lively and Gafford. I think the series really depends on them, because we know what Kyrie and Luka gonna do. Like, that goes without saying. Like, we know what they're gonna do. But for Boston, you just can't let the other. It's all about the others in this series. You can let Luka hit 40, Kyrie hit 30. That other 30, 25, 30 points, like they're gonna have to get that under control. Can't let the other guys get 17, 20 point. Like PJ Washington can't go off for 20. Like, you can't let that kind of shit happen, or you're gonna lose.
Yep.
So having said that, I do think Boston will they'll overcome the dynamic guard play. I do think they will. Jason Tatum obviously has to be big in the series. It's just, I think I said it before, from a roster standpoint, they technically have the best roster in the NBA. That I don't even think that can be argued. Even if I don't like them, it just is what it is. Porzingis coming back, huge X factor.
Yep.
We'll see how he is coming off the injury. He hasn't played in a few weeks to a month, so we'll see how that goes. But if Porzingis is anything like Porzingis, it's just hard for me to see Dallas winning this series. So I think I'm going with Boston in 7.
That is that's spicy right there.
I think
That's
I'm
that's
going with
spicy.
Boston in 7.
That's spicy.
Even though I don't want to, man. I want Dallas to
Yeah.
win. I want Dallas to win for sure. Like, I'm rooting for Dallas. Let's get that understood. You know what I mean? Like, I am not
Yeah.
rooting for the Celtics by any means. That's just me breaking it down. Basketball wise, I do think Boston will win.
Yeah, I think man, you made some really strong points there. I don't think I really can disagree with anything that you said. Um in basketball in general, when you're trying to win a series like this, um first of all, these teams are going to be familiar enough with each other, especially by the middle of the series, to where
Mm-hmm.
game planning becomes so highly nuanced by the time you play the same team 4, 5, 6 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
The game plan doesn't really change that much from one game to
Right.
the next. You're just making minor adjustments
Adjustments.
and tweaking things. When you're at this level, you don't normally see a coaching mismatch, and there's not a coaching mismatch here. I think you've got two very good coaches. Jason Kidd is obviously more of a veteran coach than
Mm-hmm.
Mazzulla is, but there's no denying the job that Mazzulla has done. Especially when you think about the situation he inherited with Ime,
Mm-hmm.
his unceremonious exit and him having to kind of pick up the pieces and keep the team together, and getting them all the way back to this point, getting them further than where they went last year. Terrific job on his part, and he won't get the credit because people just look at Tatum and Brown and say, okay, yeah, they're the reason why. But
Right.
there's a lot of reasons why, all of which you've kind of laid out. In a series, if you have the best player on the court, then your job is to, if you have the best player on the court, you have a mismatch with that player. So your job is to game plan and execute in a way as to mitigate any counter mismatches that the other team has, right?
Mhm.
So, in my opinion, Mr. Doncic is the best player in the series,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So he's going to have a mismatch no matter what game plan you are. He's going
Yep.
to create a mismatch.
Yep.
So Dallas game plan really needs to be around how they exploit that mismatch, either through, and there's a lot of ways you can do that, through ISO ball, using them as a decoy. They like to, run a lot of pick and pops and, circles and alley oops. They like to run a lot of action off of their guard play, right? It's been
Mhm.
the best guard play in the whole league. It's been really special. And I've talked at length about, how special I think this year has been for Dallas, and the
Mhm.
bond that Mr. Doncic and Kyrie have. You thought I was playing about Mr. Doncic. I'm keeping that up all night. It's 4 damn syllables, and I'm giving him every one of them. Um, so so if you're Dallas, you need to mitigate Kristaps Porzingis and Derek White. Those are the
Mhm.
two.
Mhm.
I've already said Derek White's been playing championship basketball this whole series, right? He has brought he's
Man.
brought his lunch to work every day, right? Every game. So those are the two guys you got to be worried about. Now, Kristaps is coming off the injury. We'll kind of see how he kind of plays himself into shape.
Mhm.
I think that's going to limit his effectiveness. I don't think he can be that nuclear bomb third option, that Vinny Johnson type,
Right.
that just take over the series. I don't
Right.
think we'll see that, but they're gonna have problems if they don't figure out how to minimize his impact on the offensive end of the ball. Now having said all of that, um, I think that I'm gonna give the edge to Dallas in terms of the psychology and the approach to the game.
Mm.
Um, I think that Dallas has Dallas has shown that they can get punched in the mouth and still win the series, right? They've shown that this playoffs, right? They've played, the especially with Minnesota, that was a true test for Dallas, in my opinion, in terms of just and what they were able to do to kind of overcome. Like you said, Minnesota was in every game except for the last game, and
Mhm.
Dallas was able to do enough to beat the team that beat the champs.
Yep.
So it's just unbelievable. And they're what these Kyrie highlights. Like I don't think there's been 5 people on this planet that have better handles than Kyrie Irving. Oh my god.
Ever. Ever.
Oh my god. Man, like,
The man is a monster, man.
if y'all watch this, put in the comments any, name the players that you think has better handles than Kyrie Irving.
It's a short list, just the people
Very
that's up
short.
there with him. Like,
Right. Right. He's that league, that Iverson, like he's in that league, y'all.
yeah, man.
Um, so having said all of that, although I agree with everything that you said, I think that we're gonna see a meltdown from Tatum and Brown in this series. Maybe not at the same time, but in multiple games.
No, don't
And
doubt that.
I actually have Dallas in 6.
Ooh, 6 to get him out of there.
Yeah, get them out of there in 6. And again, it's I don't. I think that the problem with Boston. This is Boston's biggest problem. Tatum and Brown are too good for their own good. That's the problem. If you were to take Jason Tatum and say, all right, we're going to completely change out his personality,
Mhm.
and we're going to put Mike Conley's personality inside that body, and Mike Conley's approach to basketball and to his
Mhm.
position into Jason Tatum's body. That team's a dynasty, right? Just when you talk about the style of play would complement all these pieces so well if he approached the game that way. And just his tendency to play hero ball, he's got that Kevin Durant COVID on him. I don't know what's
Oh
going
man.
on, but I just think that that's going to become too much of a stumbling block for Missoula and the others to overcome, which is why I've got in Dallas. I think it's their year, man. It just seems like destiny for them this year. So I'm gonna pick Dallas at 6.
Solid points, man, all the way around. Yeah, like you said, it's hard to disagree with anything you said, especially with the Boston hasn't really faced any adversity this playoff. Like, and
Hmm.
Dallas pretty much has. They had a tough series with OKC. The Clippers gave them a little run too. People forget that. Like, the
Yep.
Clippers wasn't really no pushover. They won more games than Minnesota did. So
Yep.
So they face better competition hands down. And like I always say, I never this is literally my first time trusting Boston. I don't trust them. So
Hmm.
me picking them is a big thing. I don't know for everybody watching. I don't know if you know my history with Boston, like in predictions or whatever, but I never picked them in big spots because they always fold, mainly because of the guy you named, Jason Tatum. He kind of always just has those moments where he's the only star I know where, like, for stretches of the game, it feels like he's not out there.
Yep.
Like his impact can be that small in
Hmm.
stretches of a game, but then he could come back and just run off 10 straight. It's crazy. Like, so I think he just has to bring a little different level of consistency in this series.
Yep.
He has to be, if there's nobody else that's consistent from a game to game, it has to be him. The other guys can kind of go in and out as they want. You know, they have enough weapons to kind of supplement guys having off nights. If Derek White's off, Jaylen Brown could be hitting. Jaylen
Hmm.
Brown off, Drew Holiday could be hit. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
but I
Yep.
think Tatum has to be that one constant in this series.
Yep.
Just my thoughts.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah,
He I still think that he's Pippen trying to be Jordan.
me too.
It's just it ain't gonna work out for him.
And don't get it twisted. Even if they win this series, I still don't believe in Jason Tatum. Like, unless he just goes nuclear, like then I'm like, okay, my perception of him may change, but he has to have an amazing finals to change my opinion of him, even if they win.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, to to beat this team, he can't play the way he's been playing. Not just in terms of like performance and shot selection,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of exploiting the mismatches because Mr. Doncic is over there. And there's no answer for him or Kyrie.
Right.
So you've got to game plan in a way to exploit the advantages that you have, which
Mm-hmm.
is in Porzingis and in the your bench depth, particularly at the guard position. You, but you got to have a point guard that's going to be the
Mm-hmm.
floor general to lead in that direction. And Tatum hasn't
Mm-hmm.
shown an ability to do that consistently. So the only way they win this series is if he figures out how to defer and to be more of a floor general.
Yeah. We'll see. You know, like you said, the bench production. We'll see what Peyton Pritchard does and guys
Mhm.
like that. The forgotten guys. But I think it's gonna be a very, very competitive series. I don't see. I mean, of course, in any series there may be a blowout game
Mhm.
because one team, for one reason or another, didn't show up that night. But I think for the most part, this is going to be a very, very close and competitive series.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just want to see good basketball, man. Like, I don't want to see no short ass series. I don't want to see that. Like, we saw that too much in the conference finals. So I want to see a long series, man. Get us through some games, get the excitement going. Everybody just bring their A game. That's what I want to see. I want to see both teams at their best.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah,
Agreed.
but I do have
Um,
Boston in 7, unbelievably though.
so I wanted to take this time because I don't think this came up in the last show. I wasn't even aware of it until just now. They just played a montage of Bill Walton in
Yes.
the stadium. I think he passed away 10 days ago or so. I was looking.
Hmm.
I didn't know that he had passed when we had the last show. So, rest in peace to Bill Walton, one of the NBA greats, one of those guys that, injury kind of cut his career short. But a
Hmm.
lot of people consider him, at least in the late 70s, during a short period of time, he was the best player in basketball. A lot of people will say in that late
Hmm.
70s run, particularly when he led the Trailblazers to the championship. So, there was argument that his play level was above Wilt, above Kareem, even
Yeah,
during
that
that
was the
time.
talk. That was the talk for sure.
So yeah. So, rest in peace to Bill Walton. I could not stand him as a commentator. I did not think that was a good fit for him at all.
Throw it
But
down, big man. Throw it down.
just he would just go on rants, man. Like, what,
Just
Bill, what
talking
are
about
you
some shit that don't
talking
have
about?
nothing to do with the game.
Just classic, just California hippie, man. Come on, Bill.
Yeah, man.
Come
Shout
on,
out to Bill
Bill.
Walton, man. Rest in peace, Bill Walton,
Rest in
man.
peace, Bill.
Legendary NBA player, man. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never
Absolutely.
forgotten.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So finals, man. Exciting times. There was something else we wanted to get into And I really hate talking about this team because they piss. Like it seems like every time I talk about this team, they doing something to me personally. Like
Oh,
and he
my
already know
god.
where I'm going. Like
Oh my god. I think the audience, anybody that's been watching already knows where you're going.
it's like, come on, man. Like y'all always find a way to fuck with me. Like I didn't do anything to y'all. Like, I don't get it, man. But anyway, the Los Angeles Lakers are pursuing Danny Hurley from my Yukon Huskies men's basketball team. Oh my god. So the reports are that they're about to throw a boatload of money at Dan Hurley to entice him to take the Lakers front job as head coach. I'm not excited about it to say the least. I think they were trying to fuck our three-peat up. If Dan Hurley is not there, I don't think we will three-peat, and that obviously pisses me off because we have a legitimate chance of doing it. But back to the Lakers. I know you said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think it's a good fit,
Mhm.
but I'll let you elaborate on your point.
Yeah, in the 80s and 90s, you could have hard asses for coaches and the players would tolerate it. When you
Mm-hmm.
think about really, let's go back to the OG Red Auerbach, right? Like he was the biggest star on those Celtics teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he really kind of was the pioneer of that. But then you go into like Chuck Daly, um, Phil Jackson had kind of a different way of doing it. Like he was able to manage egos because he had such a massive ego himself, and he was able to kind of Jedi mind trick Jordan and Kobe and Shaq somewhat into buying into the system.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about your Pat Rileys, these were hard nosed, hard ass coaches that coached their teams hard, and the players responded to it because you know biggest dick in the room, right?
It was
That's what these guys are.
the respect level was there.
Yeah, yeah. There was respect and there was, results that backed it up. That doesn't really play well in today's NBA. And this is going to be one of the lasting legacies that LeBron is going to leave on the league for better or for worse. And that is the player GM. you know, LeBron kind of ushered in this era of being able to manipulate your leverage as a basketball player into is effectively guiding hiring and firing decisions of the team, right?
Yep.
That's an era that LeBron ushered in. We've not seen anything like that before. Every other player that attempted to do that, we just kind of wrote him off as an asshole and a coach killer, right? Whether you talk about Latrell
Right.
Sprewell or Darren
Mm-hmm.
Williams, like there's a long list of players that have attempted to do what LeBron did, and we just write them off as
Allen
as
Iverson.
coach killers and assholes. Yeah, and but Larry Brown was able to somewhat get through to even him, right? Because again,
Mm-hmm.
Larry Brown's still the biggest dick in the room. It doesn't matter who's on the court, right? That's Larry Brown. Do y'all know who that
Right.
is on the sidelines?
Super alpha.
That's Larry
Like
fucking Brown. Yes,
right.
yes. That's Larry Brown. I'll take my ball and go home, Larry Brown. So I'm winning so much I get bored and quit. Larry Brown. That's who we talking about.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
so that's and Dan Hurley is that old school fundamentals disciplinarian. Is all about the team, all for one for all. Impeccable resume at UConn. What he's been able to do, has continued the dynasty of that storied franchise from a basketball standpoint. And that
Mm-hmm.
style is perfect for college 18, 19 year
Mm-hmm.
olds, 20-year olds. It doesn't work for people who make more money than you, right? That style
Yep.
just doesn't work when you're not the highest paid person on the
Right.
court.
It's not the
And
80s.
so yeah, so coaches like that, I really just think they need to either stay in college or just jump straight to GM role if you want to not be in college anymore. But
Right. Right.
Tibbs is making it work in New York. All we need is for Jalen Brunson to find something wrong with Tibbs, and Tibbs' job is in trouble. Not to say
Mm-hmm.
that that would happen, but we know that Brunson has way more leverage in that relationship than Tibbs does.
Right.
So I don't think it's a good fit at all. I can understand. Obviously, I understand why Hurley's doing it. I mean, you can't say he's not doing it for the money, right? that
Shit,
has to be that has to be a variable.
right. They talking about backing up the Brinks truck and all that. I don't think that's gonna be hard to turn down.
Mhm. So I don't know how much he's getting at UConn. It's probably not that. It's not
Pretty
probably that much of a pay increase as
right.
we would think. Um, I so again, the football coaches are getting 10 plus million a year. I don't know what basketball
hmm
coaches get, but so anyway, it's a bad fit. I'll let you finish it off.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the player empowerment era is
Mhm.
is not conducive to guys like Danny Hurley. It's just, I think you pretty much said it all. But if they do make that hire, they have to be willing to let him run the team how he sees fit, or else you just did it for no reason, essentially.
Right,
Like, I mean, what are you hiring that man for if you're not going to, let him have the reins? And with LeBron being there, I don't know if that's possible.
right.
Or maybe that just, signals the end of the LeBron era. I don't know, their thoughts on that, but that is those two in particular are not a good fit. I can't imagine Dan Hurley yelling at LeBron on the sideline. You know how Danny Hurley is, like
Right, right. Yeah.
he getting on everybody's ass. He has that coaching style where he on you. And LeBron hasn't had that. Has he ever had that?
Yeah, I don't think so. And
Like I can't
also
imagine
like,
it.
but I can see it from LeBron's standpoint too. So like you got this new coach coming in yelling at you, and you literally look at him like, dude, we went to high school together.
Right.
Who
So
you
it's just
yelling at? Son?
exactly. The whole shit is just combustible. Like I don't understand. I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell Jeannie Buss and them be thinking about. Like,
So, so when one was on the show, this was many months ago, he said something really insightful. And for those who don't know, he's a hardcore Lakers fan. But as I respected
He a
him
Knicks
with
fan,
his
but he a
take,
hardcore LeBron fan.
he's a hardcore. Okay, correction. I stand corrected. He's a hardcore LeBron fan. But he
hmm
said the Lakers are about done with LeBron shit. And he was kind of going up through how they had the protocol when he was coming off the injury. And
hmm
LeBron kind of made this snarky comment about, well, apparently I'm in medical and I got to do this or that. And
hmm
that indicated to one that Brian doesn't have the brass ring like people thinks that he has. That Jeannie Buss still stands in that family.
hmm
Um, and this could just be another step in the direction of what the post LeBron Lakers are going to look like because nigga is 40.
Right. He ain't gonna be there, but 1 or 2 more years anyway.
Right, and but Jeannie will be the owner of the Lakers for the next 40 years. So
Yeah, however
whenever
long
she
she alive.
dies, right?
Right, however long she
So
alive.
she's got the next 40 years to worry about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this could be another domino in that direction. We'll just see how it plays out.
I don't know, man. It's just such a reach to me. I don't like it at all, man. Not even just because UConn is my team. It's just like from an organizational standpoint, like that team. Like if you're gonna have Hurley coaching anybody, it has to be a group of young guys. I can see him coaching like a young NBA team,
Mhm.
but the Lakers have all these vets and shit. It's like that kind of style is not gonna go over well in the locker room. It's just not.
Well, that's the thing is, if let's say LeBron leaves or whatever, and goes to play with his son in whatever city his son is up in,
hmm
suddenly the Lakers are a pretty young team.
They might as well trade AD too. They gotta get rid of him too. If LeBron go,
I don't know. I think that they've kind of. I think that the organization has anointed AD as like the heir apparent.
which is stupid because he only had 1 season of health, and that was this past year. So
Well, it was also stupid for them to even do all the stuff they're doing with the LeBron situation anyway, right? None of these moves make sense
right.
unless they somehow know something that we don't know. The Magic already kind of called him out in they shit, when they hired him to be like the GM, and then
hmm
he figured out that he's got to share responsibilities with Palinka or whatever his name is.
Rob
And,
Pelinka.
and
Yep.
yeah, and Magic like completely like call all of them out on first take. Like I remember that. And the thing is though, I'm such a big Magic fan. I've read his books and followed his life. And one thing Magic ain't, he's not a liar. Like Magic has always been brutally honest about situations, even when they were to his detriment.
Yeah,
He
you're right.
doesn't, he's not one of those players that embellishes things. He's
Mm,
not one of those players that goes out of his way to try to talk shit about young players just to chase clout. Like
right.
first of all, I'm fucking Magic Johnson. Like I don't need, I have all the clout. So I don't even have time to be thinking about stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm like, well, if Magic's saying it, I believe it. So I don't know. This could be. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Um. Just I don't. It's always the Lakers, man. For some reason, for whatever reason it is, like it's always the Lakers pissing me off, man. Because I think they get it's like too many headlines. I don't give a damn what's going on. The Lakers always manage to steal a headline. You notice that every year. Last year it was LeBron maybe retiring after they lost in the conference final. It's always around the time when the finals about to start. The Lakers have some type of headline. I don't know if anybody else is realizing that.
They're
I
like
don't
the
know.
Cowboys of the NBA, man.
That shit
They're
is
they
like
will
it's
always be relevant. It doesn't matter what the record is. It doesn't
yep.
matter as long as Jerry Jones is alive. The Cowboys will be relevant.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing. I can't. I hate that. Like we start every season. This may be the Cowboys' year. That's the media. Media talk every year. Like, come on, man. These niggas ain't won in 30 years, bro. Stop it, man.
I just, we need to place an over under on how many weeks is it going to take for us to start hearing the Trey Lance chants.
It's. I think it's gonna come early, man.
Me
I don't
too.
think Dallas is gonna be that good this year.
Me too. I think in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, Dak's going to throw 2 or 3 picks in the game, and we're going to start calling people. You're going to start hearing the calls for Trey Lance, and that's going to be probably the end of Dak's career in Dallas.
I wouldn't doubt it. This might be his last year on contract.
Something like that. So anyway, I know this is a basketball show, but yeah, I just had to throw that in there.
I always got time. I always got time to shit on the Cowboys.
I
Like,
know you do.
we could always put some time aside for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, man. Overall, yeah, just bad fit. Unless y'all let Danny Hurley have his way, you know what I mean, coach the way he want to coach his style, implement his philosophies, disciplinarian, hardcore disciplinarian. Unless y'all gonna let him do all that, you're signing him as a coach for no reason.
Yep.
Point blank, period. So
Yep.
that's pretty much the end of that. I know you wanted to talk about some WNBA news.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you start because I know you want to talk about it too. So I'm gonna let you start.
Okay, so one thing in particular, and you kind of made mention of this. I don't know if it was the last show or the show before. I just find it so strange that, and this is regarding Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson is almost unanimously regarded as the best player in the WNBA, right? Rightfully so. She's a monster. She has been, for the most part, the best player in the WNBA over the last three or so years, maybe. Depending on if you put Breonna Stewart up there with her or whatever, but Asia Wilson is the best player in the WNBA. I just find it so odd that now everybody wants to give Asia Wilson all this respect when in the last couple years you never heard that name one time. It was only when Caitlin Clark got endorsement deals did niggas start saying, why don't Asia Wilson have a sneaker? She need a sneaker too. So now what niggas have done, they're using, just like you said, they use Angel Reese. That's why I said you made mention of this. They're like just how they use Angel Reese as a cog in their bullshit. Now they're doing the same thing with the best player in the WNBA. And it frustrates the hell out of me because y'all acting like y'all care about this girl and her endorsement deals and all that shit when it's really just a play to say Caitlyn ain't really shit. She ain't all that. And This girl proves that because she's the best player in the WNBA. Well, who the hell argued with y'all about that? Like, nobody's arguing against Asia Wilson being the best player in the WNBA. The problem is you niggas didn't endorse her at all until somebody you didn't like came around.
Yep.
So save all the bullshit, man. Like, I see through all this shit. There's no way you're gonna sell to me that you've been an Asia Wilson fan for the last 3 years. Because I've been watching the WNBA. I'm a fan of a lot of the players that people don't know nothing about. Like her teammate Chelsea Gray. I think Chelsea Gray is a fucking monster. Like, she's been out this year. But I love Chelsea Gray's game. Kelsey Plum could hoop. There's so many girls that could hoop, but you niggas only want to make mention of certain players who are obviously the cream of the crop and try to use them as a shield to your shit. Like, we can't do that, man. If you're gonna give somebody respect, give them real respect. This shit y'all doing is fake love, man.
Right.
It's just a whole bunch of fake love, man. So that was my main point. There's so much to talk about, so I'll let you get your point off.
I have several, so I'm gonna, you tag me in, so I'm gonna say my thing and I'm gonna tag you back in. So,
all right.
When you talk about no one's been endorsing these players until Caitlin got there. Nobody cared about this league until Caitlin got there. Now all of a sudden people saying that Asia ain't getting no love. Here's how we know the niggas did not give two shits about the WNBA until Caitlin got there. I have not been able to confirm this personally, but there was a report that I read that the tickets, the ticket sales for the first game that Indiana played against the world champion Aces were triple what they were when the Aces won the finals. That's all you need to, that is all that you, that's only data point. If y'all don't hear nothing else that we talk about, that's all you need to know. And that's all that matters.
Further making my point.
That's all that matters. And I have a hot take, you know, I'm going to go into the race thing a little bit here, and then I'm going to give it back to you. I have a controversial take when it comes to race relations in the United States that a lot of Black people don't like. But when you think about it, it's true. The reality is the only color that has ever mattered in this country, well, prior to now it's green, but back then it was gold. That was the only color that mattered, right? When you think about all of the reasons why race relations are the way they are, why the slavery diaspora, why we all ended up here in the first place, it was economy, it was economic, right? It was business. Why is that relevant here? It's relevant here because our media does not want a straight woman to be the face of their league, and certainly not a straight white woman. That is not what this league wants. This league tried so hard to have a Black lesbian as the face of the company. Like Brittany Griner, I mean, did I say the right damn name? Yeah, Brittany Griner. That's what I'm talking about.
Brittany Griner.
You know, I've been getting my names mixed up lately. Like, I didn't get her mixed up with the girl that had the baby by PJ Washington, did her? Okay, thank God.
No.
Anyway.
Oh, that was Brittany Renner. Yeah, you got it right.
I was like, oh my God, did I get that right? Okay, I'm getting old. Brittany Griner was supposed to be the face of the WNBA. That was their plan, their marketing strategy, marketing machine.
I remember they were saying Brittany Griner could beat niggas one-on-one in the NBA. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. There was a whole lot of that. But then we figured out that Brittany Griner doesn't have the character or the personality. You know, this ain't Lisa Leslie we talking about. You know, this ain't someone who's beautiful and charismatic like that. This ain't a Cheryl Swoops, right? And like the league wants so much for Black lesbians to be the face of the league because a large cohort of the players and a large cohort of the fans fall within that demographic. And there have been reports for many years from straight WNBA players that talk about how they get discriminated against and bullied by the gay players. That it's almost like this initiation, or, you know, how dare you be straight, you know, in this quote unquote gay league. And so, people can deny that all they want, but the reality is, we're playing the race card in a place where it doesn't fit. And just like black folks, the LGBT community in this instance is really overplaying their hand, right?
Hmm.
We had, when Black Lives Matter, that movement started, there was a lot of good things and momentum that happened. But what happened was the idiots that were in control of that organization overplayed their hand, and now all of a sudden y'all trying to defend, what Chappelle called him, Juicy Smollett. Once y'all started defending Juicy Smollett and them obvious shit he was doing, it's all over. And LGBT community is making the same mistake with the WNBA by trying to push this agenda of, gay is great, and look at all these great, gay women that we have playing in our league, right? It's just that's not a winning formula when
Right.
you consider the demographic of the audience that you are appealing to. They want to see what the hell Caitlin Clark can do.
Right.
That's why they're paying the money to
Right.
come see that. It has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark being white. In fact, if Caitlin Clark was a black lesbian that, you know, brought USC, or pick some non juggernaut school in California, Cal State Fullerton. Let's say Clark was a black lesbian from Cal State Fullerton, and they went to back Final Fours.
Hmm.
She would be the darling of the league. They will be rolling out red carpets. This will be a completely different situation, right?
But
But
some would argue with you and say the red carpet has been laid out because of the spotlight, the endorsements, the TV national coverage, the all
yeah,
that stuff. They would
I'm
say
talking.
explain that then, but it would be, they don't want to look at the talent as a reason for that.
I'm talking specifically about the treatment that Caitlyn is getting from other players, right? It's
Right.
clear, like the suits of the league clearly understand the
Hmm.
objective here, right? They understand the assignment. This is a golden goose that you have playing in your league. She has brought more attention and eyeballs to this
Hmm.
sport in its 25 plus year history. You have to protect the golden goose, and they better know that. They better understand that, because if they decide to go ham on Caitlyn and she misses like time with an injury, say goodbye to all of that shit. Like, nobody's gonna show up to your games if Caitlyn ain't there. Nobody's gonna tune on the television if Caitlyn ain't there. Like, nobody's going to care anymore.
Right.
So y'all, you better protect your golden goose. Yeah, you need to know where your bread is buttered.
And so far, they're not doing a very good job of that. Just to be honest, like it's
Mhm.
been kind of crazy. Not even just from the foul standpoint. It's like just I don't know, man. Because I watch all the games.
Mhm.
Like they beating her up. She getting texts because of the fouls that she's getting that they're doing to her that they're not calling. She getting texts and all kind of shit. Like
Yep. Yeah.
out there fighting for her life. And then a lot of people have made mention of this as well, man. Her teammates just have been doing a
Mhm.
very poor job protecting
Yep.
their star player.
Mhm.
It's like
Yep.
they don't give a fuck. Like they don't care at all. They just sitting back watching. I remember when the girl pushed Caitlyn down when she wasn't
Right.
looking,
Yep.
Aaliyah Boston, she just stood there. She was standing right there. She ain't
Yep.
jumping her face or nothing. Not saying you just got to go full out and swing on her or do something crazy, but look, you step in her face and let her know this shit ain't acceptable.
Exactly.
Like this is
Yeah.
your teammate. Protect your teammate, especially the asset of the league. Like they have a responsibility, whether they know it or not, to do so. So, you spend all this time. They spend all this time together. They spend more time together than they spend with their families at this point of the
Right.
year.
Right.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
one of y'all
Yep.
get into it. All y'all get into it, man. That's how we was raised. Like,
Yeah. And well, see, here's the problem: is that the double standard of the WNBA is being exposed right in front of us, because you have all of these players that are saying that their game is just as good as a men's game, and that they deserve to get a more proportion. They believe that the amount of shine that they're getting is not proportionate to what the men are getting, right? But the problem is that you're not you're not conducting business
mm-mm.
the way that the men are. Because if you were conducting business the way that the men were, um, you would be getting, better results. Now, here's what I mean by that. Everybody knows. So I was going to use an old example. I'll use a current one. Everybody knows you playing Golden State. You take a hard foul on Steph. What I'm about to say. What I'm about to
Man,
say.
you might get laid down.
Might.
You might get laid. Like Draymond might lay you down.
Draymond gonna lay you down. Everybody knows this. I didn't even have to say it. Everybody
Yeah,
watching already knew what I was gonna say.
yeah. A nigga choke Rudy Gobert for less.
You
Like,
you can't if Steph takes a hard hit, Draymond is stomping you in the balls, right? It's been like that. Every great team has always
yep,
had one or more enforcers, crazy people that will go ape shit on your ass for their team, right?
yep.
Patrick Beverly is the walking embodiment of this,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's the walking embodiment of enforce. Everybody knows he's just unhinged,
Shit,
right?
James Johnson.
Yeah,
You
all these
notice
guys.
they don't even put their hands on Tyrese Halliburton. James Johnson don't even play. That nigga don't even get in the game. But they know that nigga sitting over there on the bench. And if you touch Tyrese Halliburton the wrong
It's over.
way, like
It's
you out
over.
of here.
Bill Lambier, Oakley,
Man,
you know,
talk to him. Anthony Mason.
Bill Cartwright. Like he looked like a frail old man with a weird ass shot. Bill Cartwright will knock your ass out.
Man.
He did not at
Yep.
all. Like, but everybody knew, and Boston had their guys too. Everybody knew
Mm-hmm.
you touch the golden goose, you're gonna get touched up. And we know this. This translates to other sports. In
Yeah.
football,
Yeah.
something happened to that quarterback, the line's gonna be on your ass, right?
Yep.
In baseball, if you hit the batter, guess what's gonna happen in the next inning? Your top batter is gonna get hit by their pitcher, right?
Yep.
Hockey is the best example,
Oh
right?
man, they just straight up fighting. Like,
Dude, Sidney guys like Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby,
yeah.
they don't take hits
Nope.
because the team knows you put a hard hit on them, we got goons sitting on the bench. Because in hockey, they reward you for winning the fight. The person who wins the fight gets the break.
Yep.
Like, look, I'm sitting on the bench anyway. I can sit in the penalty box and get some get back. I'm not playing regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like every other major sport, like there's this unwritten rule of we got a way to get our get back.
Right.
The WNBA is gonna have. Let me rephrase this. The Indiana Fever are
Mm-hmm.
going to have to change the way that they're doing business, and they're going to have to be willing to do what it takes, right? um and because but what you see is when I talk about the double standard, the women want to be get the equal rewards as men,
Mm-hmm.
but they want to continue to solve problems like catty women, right? So Caitlyn is getting shine that we should get. So our response to that is to be petty and jealous and poke holes and to say it's about me too. It's not just about her.
Oh, I was gonna get into that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you take that part, but that's the women are going to have to change the way that they handle the situation because they're about to fumble the bag.
Yeah, you're right. They fucking up their own money. It's just point blank. There's nowhere other way to describe it, man. It's actually sad to watch because the WNBA took a long time just to even get to this point where people cared.
Mhm.
So this
Yeah.
is the result when people start caring. It's just like they can't get out their own way, man. We didn't know Kennedy Carter 2 weeks ago. Now all of a sudden she think that we should be talking about her all the time. Like we don't care. I heard she had a comment saying, I'm more than just this one clip. Like we really don't give like we're not watching this shit because of you. Like,
You know what's funny is that I saw a report about her and all the stuff that she made, and somebody just went down her career. It's like, okay, got drafted in 2020.
she been on
um,
like 3 teams.
you got kicked off of Atlanta because you
Mm-hmm.
threatened to fight your own teammates. The
Mm-hmm.
next year, you went to forget where she went. I think it was LA somewhere. Got kicked off of that team. Conduct detrimental to the team. Was out of the league altogether last year. Played in
Mm-hmm.
Turkey, and now look what you did this year. So this is on brand for her. She's a thug. That's how she is. That's how she's gonna be. Her teammate on the bench was clapping her up when she like hit Caitlyn out of nowhere.
And you know who that was?
Yeah, your girl.
Miss. I don't have beef with Caitlyn. Like we don't have no problem.
Right, exactly. But it's like, okay, if y'all are gonna handle business like this, and see this is the one thing that nobody talks about with that game. Indiana won that game.
Right. Yep.
So
As
what are
bad
we
as they
talking
are.
about? What are we talking? All of this shit that y'all talk, y'all walked off that court thinking that y'all was the shit and all this attention, and we put her in her place. Y'all lost the fucking
Lost.
game.
Yep. Lost the
What are we,
game
what are we
to a
talking about?
to the worst team in the league at that. Indiana, what they say? I kicked Joe Lewis's ass.
kick Joe Lewis's ass. Dude, I'm telling you. But everything you said about Angel Reese being a front runner is all playing out in front of us. It's
Man.
all playing out in front of us.
And it didn't even take me like a whole bunch of incidents to understand that either. Like I knew that shit the first time they played against each other in college. I knew it. I saw it then. So
Yeah.
everybody acted surprised. But on the Angel Reese though, more hypocrisy from Angel Reese.
Mhm.
I don't even think she's intelligent enough to understand that her comments should be offensive to the rest of the players in the league and her own teammates.
Yep.
You talking shit,
Yep.
you aiming at one person, you shooting at one person, but everybody else standing around her and you spraying them too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This whole, I could look back 20 years and know it was me, it was me too. I don't want to misquote her at all, but she did say it's not just because of one person, it was me too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Me too. Me, 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 me. That's what I hear. Me, me, me. Root
Mm-hmm.
word.
Yep.
So by you saying that, you're basically saying, yeah, the rest of these hoes don't really matter. It's me and Caitlyn. Am I off?
Right.
Like, and it's just this overinflated sense of just like superiority, man. It's like, come on, man. You got your fame from her. If there's a man, this shit just makes my head hurt. Every day I see something new and it just baffles me. Like every time I feel like every time she open her mouth and say some shit, it's like so hypocritical.
But here's the reality that these players face that they can't handle. They've been, however long their season is, 40 games, however many games it is. They come to these games. They already complain about flights. They had to get on regular flights with us regular folk,
Mm-hmm.
and they play in front of a couple thousand people, right? So they get in these big ass arenas, right? Because they want to be equal to the men, right? They want, same. We're owned by the NBA, so we play in the same areas in many cases. And these
Mm-hmm.
arenas are half full, quarter full. They can't give the tickets away, and that's been their existence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your games against the Fever, it's a sellout, and people are paying $500.
Right.
So, regardless of however delusional they want to act on social media, the psychological impact cannot be denied. That the last 10 games that I played in here, nobody gave a damn. That we weren't in the newspaper. Nobody cared. Nobody was
Mm-hmm.
coming. Now, this game, all of a sudden, it's a sellout and it's $500 a ticket. And,
Mm-hmm.
our team is plastered all over every newspaper. That's not because of you, dumbass. Like
Right.
you're not the difference. The difference is that beast in Indiana that's
Well,
bringing all the flame with her, right?
what your boy say? What's his name? McAfee. McAfee was like that white bitch, Caitlin Clark. Well, they giving him hell for that.
Oh man, dude, Pat McAfee is my spirit animal. I've said this on many occasions. I
Man, Pat
love
McAfee crazy.
I love me some Pat McAfee.
Pat
we
McAfee, wow for that
we
shit.
need we need to have a whole I don't know that I necessarily support him saying that, but that shit is funny. That shit is funny.
Like just that he had the balls to say that. Like damn.
Yeah. I could see the context of him saying it
Yeah.
sarcastically, like, yeah, that white bitch. But I'm not gonna defend those comments. I didn't hear him in context. So y'all don't come writing me hate mail. But
Yeah,
that shit is funny. That's what I'm gonna say.
he's Pat McAfee. Wow, but the hypocrisy just kills me, man. It's just like, damn, you really, really, really starving for some attention and some credit. Caitlin
Yeah.
Clark, and you notice through all this shit, Caitlin Clark has not said a word. Caitlin Clark just at practice, going through the day-to-day hooping, like getting ready for the next game. She ain't really said much. The only time Caitlin Clark really talk is if they interview after the game or whatever press conference they do after the game, and that's it. She don't be on social media putting out tweets and
Right.
talking all crazy to them and saying I'm responsible for this, and everybody, the media, whoever, they put that on her. She didn't put, like, she just hooping.
Yeah. I think what's going to happen. This is how I see this playing out. Um the way I see this playing out is the pettiness is going to continue throughout this season. Is going to be an overtone of the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana looks like they're not going to get much traction this year.
Mm-mm.
So they won't be in the playoff picture. It'll probably be one of the lowest rated, lowest watched WNBA playoffs because Caitlin won't be in it. And I think even the people who were casually watching are going to lose interest if she's not part of the conversation. So, um, but I want to reference something that Michael Jordan said in, I believe first time I heard him say it was in the Bad Boys documentary that 30 Day on the Bad Boys. Jordan said that the Pistons had been beating them up so badly. They had such a physical advantage over them all those years they played them in the playoffs
Mm-hmm.
that he made a concerted effort to beef up, he
Mm-hmm.
put on like 20 or 30 pounds of muscle. Like he came back in 91 and he looked like
Yep.
a different person. Like, oh
Yep.
my God. So he said that had it not been for the physical toughness and the gauntlet the Pistons had put him through, they
Mm-hmm.
would not have been as great as they were as a team to win all those championships.
Yep.
That was what he needed, so all my Dragon Ball Z folks, like, that was like his hyperbaric chamber, right? Like that was his time to kind of go and get his power and become his final form, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Caitlin is going to strap this league to her back, and she's gonna make all of these people look bad.
Yeah.
She's gonna raise the bar of play so high. I think she might be the next like Wilt Chamberlain of this league. Like she's gonna be so dominant. It's gonna be ridiculous. That's how I see this playing out.
I do think she's going to put in a significant amount of work in the off season. I do believe that, and just having this valuable experience under her belt,
Hmm.
it's only going to make this shit just that much easier for her in the playoff. I mean, for in the off season to know what she needs to work on specifically. Like you said, obviously getting stronger, bigger, able to take more contact. Because like I said, I watched the games and I see that she struggles with a lot of the contact
Hmm.
that she
Yep.
has to deal with. So, but that's nothing. We get in the weight room and that's typical basketball. That's the next level. You know what I mean? That's
Hmm.
typical progression when you're playing basketball.
Yep.
So it's not for a skill set matter or anything like that. I'm sure there's certain nuanced things that she'll work on too as well, just having that experience under her belt and knowing what's effective and what she can do. So I'm not worried about Caitlin's game at all or her production going forward or nothing. Like this is basically just her year to get acclimated to the league. And like you said, I do think she'll be a dominant player for years on end. So
Hmm.
I'm not really worried
Yep.
about it.
My last point about this is really going back to the business aspect and talking specifically about audience. So a lot of these athletes in every sport are very short-sighted about why your job exists and what is driving the opportunities that you have. Sports exist because of fans,
Mm-hmm.
and there are three types of fans. You have your casuals, and that's a pretty big spectrum, right? You
Man.
got your casual fans, right? This is, your sister with the Cowboys, right? When they're on, she watches them, she roots for them. She
Mm-hmm.
understands football and can follow the game, but if the Cowboys ain't playing, she's not really gonna watch. She's not a fan of the sport
Of the game,
overall.
right.
She's just a casual fan of this one team, and so she
Mhm.
watches it, as a result of her casual fandom to one team.
Right.
So you have your casuals, people that will watch it occasionally. Like I'm a casual tennis fan. Like if it's on, like I didn't even know the French Open was going on right now, but
Right.
like if I walk into a bar and it's on, I will watch it because I like the sport. But I'm not
Mhm.
gonna, oh, what time is the French Open coming
Yeah.
on? I'm a
Right.
I'm casual, right? But
Mhm.
I enjoy watching the game. Then you have what I call your enthusiasts, right? These are people who consume the sport regularly, are fans of the sport,
Yes.
right? I would consider myself really the last couple years I haven't watched a ton of television, but I definitely consider myself a college football enthusiast. Like I am a
Mhm.
fan of that sport. I'm an NFL enthusiast too. I watch NFL, but college there's so much nuance and there's a special like 30 seconds to go in a college football game that has a special energy about it that the
Mhm.
NFL just can't duplicate. Like just the pressure and it's the young kid and the crowd and it's fourth down
Mhm.
and his dreams are going to be crushed if he misses the pass. Like is the stakes are so high in college, right? The stakes
Mhm.
like a regular season game in NFL doesn't feel as important
Right.
as Alabama,
That's
Texas,
that's
right?
because that's because those games matter for them.
Right.
Like they could lose 1 or 2 games and they shit is over.
Right. So the stakes are so high every game that atmosphere is electric. I'm a March Madness enthusiast. I
Mhm.
love watching I love March Madness. Everything about it, the brackets,
Mhm.
the upsets, Joe Lunardi like almost having a stroke every year, like all of that stuff. Dick Vitale, give
Yep.
me all of
Gus
that.
Johnson.
Give me all of that. Give me everything. Clark Kellogg, give me all those guys, right?
Mhm.
Um, I'm an enthusiast, and so I consume the sport on a regular basis. I follow it, right? But I am no longer like what I would consider the next level, which is a hardcore fan, right? I used to be like a hardcore Lions fan. Like I follow the team closely. I'm I'm still like somewhat of a hardcore Duke fan, right? Like
Mhm.
when a team loses, I get upset. Like that's to me,
Yeah.
that's like hardcore fandom. Like,
Like it
you're
affects your
emotional.
mood.
Yes. Like everybody knows you are a hardcore Giants fan.
Phew.
You are hardcore Memphis Grizzlies fan. Like
Phew.
you you are emotionally invested.
Yeah.
Those two teams for sure, right? You have other teams that you care
UConn.
about.
UConn
UConn,
heavily.
Oklahoma for football. Like
Man.
the right.
Yeah.
So, but you are not the ideal demographic for any of these franchises
Right.
because there's not a lot of you. There's
Mhm.
only a handful. I don't First of all, I don't personally know anyone that knows the entire 53-man roster of their football team. You're the only person I know that has that intimate level of knowledge of the team. You are more likely to like spend a lot of money on Giants memorabilia
Yeah.
because you love the team that much.
Mhm.
But if you're gonna, we can't build a league around hardcore fans because there's not a lot of them. If
Right.
you're really gonna make money and make it like a national product that you can put on television, there has to be a draw for the
To the
casual.
casuals. Right.
Like, and the thing is, if you're, and this is what happened with the NBA in the 80s. You had the league was struggling. They went through the merger.
Mhm.
Nobody really cared about basketball. And then Larry Bird and Magic Johnson just fell on everybody's laps. So the hardcore people that never left, now they're getting, involved. All the hoopla that followed them, the players from college just exploded in the NBA. They also had David Stern. See, I almost said Howard Stern, getting these damn names mixed up.
Not Howard
Yeah,
Stern.
not Howard Stern, David Stern. David Stern was figuring out how to turn this into a juggernaut.
Mhm.
And so now you got these two players. The hardcore fans are emotionally invested in their success. But what happened is that all these casuals started watching the games because now they see all these commercials
Right.
with these, these two big, tall, strapping guys wearing Converse. So like, what is
Mhm.
this? And then you start marketing it to kids, and now the kids is buying jerseys and going to the games. All of a sudden, you've taken a bunch of casual fans and you've made them enthusiasts
Right.
because your product is good,
Mhm.
and people came for Magic, but they stayed for all the other teams, right? And now they
Mhm.
found a sport that they love.
Right.
If you're going to make money doing a sport, you have to be able to draw the casuals in.
Mhm.
You have that in Caitlin Clark. She is a casuals magnet.
Yeah.
That you have to be able to leverage that in the right way. And so far, the WNBA isn't doing enough to let that fire rage out of
Yep.
control the way it's supposed to.
They're definitely dropping the ball.
Yeah. And because if somebody decides to give her a hard foul, she misses 3 or 4 games. bro, that's not good, man.
Yeah.
You need her healthy she needs to play every game.
Slows down all the momentum of the league and all that. It's that is a very, very good point. You know, they're
Mhm,
they're not trying to make dollars off of the guys like me. That is a fact. You need that casual viewership. It is essential to them making money.
mhm.
Um and I
Also,
don't have a problem with the casuals.
last thing I'll say about that, they better be glad that Caitlyn just loves playing basketball because
Hmm.
she don't need the money.
No.
There's so many other basketball adjacent careers she could be doing to earn way more money than what the WNBA is paying
Right.
her, and
That
she would
little
still
ass
get her
salary.
endorsements,
Yep.
and she wouldn't have to take all these hits. So
Right.
they
She could
better
have
be
took
glad. Go ahead.
she could have took Ice Cube's deal and just said fuck the WNBA altogether. So
Yeah. Well, she wouldn't even have to say fuck the WNBA. She would just go play those 10 games and then come right back. Like a Bo Jackson. I'll just come back
right,
mid-season when I'm done with my main. This is my part-time job. I play
right.
football
It's
part-time.
my side hustle.
Yeah. I'm done with my main job, so I'm just working overtime over here.
Right. Just to show y'all, just to kick y'all ass.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, and
she
that's
loves basketball. She loves women's basketball.
yeah, fair point, man. I agree. I agree with all that. Like, and like you said, I don't have a problem with the casuals at all. Like, I just don't like when casuals try to step in places that they don't know shit about. Like, you trying to tell me something? No, well, Angel Reese is better than Caitlin Clark. You started watching basketball 2 weeks ago, and you're gonna tell me about a game that I've been watching my whole life. How the hell does that make sense? Like, just don't try to
Oh,
argue with me if you're a casual. I don't mind you being a casual fan. If you want to pop in and watch the game, it's fun. Who the hell am I to tell you what you could watch and and all that shit? Like, but don't try to step to me with the bullshit. Like, you know what you talking about, and I don't. Like, that's when we run into problems. I done had females say shit to me. Nah, well, Angel Clark, this, that, and the third. I'm like, you don't even fucking watch
Angel
basketball.
Angel Clark.
You don't even fucking watch basketball.
You even get the name right. What you
Like, come
mean,
on.
Angel Clark? You worse than me,
Like, what the
chick.
fuck? Like, what are you talking about? Get away from me. Like, this shit is crazy. The shit is wild. Like,
Oh
I'm
man.
telling you, like, firsthand experience. Like, these people are getting crazy out here just to have an opinion, just to be a part of the conversation. It's just like, damn, you that thirsty for attention? I know this is what's going on. This is the main story in mainstream media, and I get it. I get it, man. You fuck the white girl, big up the black
Yeah,
girl. I'm with you. Like, cool. You know what I mean? But we talking about the sport. We talking about the actual game of basketball and everything that led up to this point.
right.
And you
Yep.
trying to tell me otherwise.
Yeah. I
I don't
think the difference is
sick of it.
like when you talk about enforcers and like fights breaking out, people will watch clips of players, an NBA game breaking into a fight.
Hmm.
People will watch that. Like that's entertaining. Hockey, like I've heard somebody say I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. That's basically what hockey is.
I went
That's
to a
all they
fight
do.
and a hockey game broke out.
Yeah, but like when there's a skirmish, like people want to watch men fight,
Hmm.
right? People do not want to watch women fight the way that it's just different. Like cat
Yes.
fights are not
Yeah. Yeah.
like that, unless you got like a fetish for that kind of you into that, weird shit. But
Yeah.
that's the thing is like you don't if that's what you into, you don't want to watch Caitlyn and Kennedy Carter go at it. Like that's not
Right. Yeah.
these are not
I'm not into that shit.
so but that's the thing is like if something happens and a fight breaks out in a WNBA game, that's a black eye on the league, right?
Hmm.
That's going to hurt your audience because you're trying to bring in more casuals, which is going to be
Hmm.
girls and you know girls mostly, and girls aren't going to sit there and watch other girls fight each other. Like that's not going to go
Yeah.
over. So
Yeah. So Angel Me Too Reese. Shout out to you, I
me,
guess.
me too for all the wrong reasons. Oh my
Angel Me
god.
Too Reese. And I sent you the little video earlier. She
Oh
still
yeah.
got her titties half out and talking about she was sexualized. They go, what in the hell, man? And I know you brought that up in another show too. She did the Sports Illustrated
Hmm.
bathing suit and all that. You on stage shaking your ass with Meg the Stallion,
Hmm.
talking about you over sexualized and crying. You're really crying because the girl dropped 41 on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we should be talking about. Like she dropped 41, 8, and 14 or some shit like that on you, and you started crying after the game.
Yeah. You know who Angel Reese is? Angel Reese is she's the big girl at the strip club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not that I've ever been to a strip club before, God forbid. And if your sister ever sees this, I've never been to one. But you've got your princesses, the ones that are kind of like, they're the main attraction. They're what
Mhm.
everybody came to see. But then you have those up and comers every now and then. The girl don't really look as good. Her body ain't great. But so I gotta make up for it somehow.
Mhm.
So I gotta
Facts.
do a whole bunch of extra shit
Yeah.
to get the same level of attention because I'm a 6 and I'm dancing next to a 9. So
Mhm.
the 6 has got to do some shit that the 9 won't do because the 9 look better, right? Angel Reese is the big girl on the pole. She's doing all this extra shit because she knows in her heart that she is not as good at Caitlyn at anything. She's not better than Caitlyn at any aspect of what we're talking about on or off the court.
It's just and I want to repeat, Caitlin Clark has not said a damn word about Reese or none of them. And when she did say stuff about them, it was all complimentary shit. Like even before they played their game against each other last week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This was our dream to get here, and I'm so proud of her. And we were competitors and up through high school, and everything was just pretty complimentary.
Right.
Well, when you hear the other side speak, it's like she's always got to shit on you and remind you that it's me too. Just
Right. Yep. Why don't you
but
just
but
go out there and play the game
but we
and help?
wrong
Right.
as black men. We wrong for pointing that shit out. Oh, you don't like black women because you pointing that out. Like so how? Like just because I point out some shit that's right, like a fact. These are facts. I'm not saying nothing like outside of what's going on for real.
Mhm. Yeah. The winners win, losers lose. And I really
Every
stopped giving
time.
a shit about what black women have to say about black men a long time ago because I realized that um when you have black women that shit on black men regularly and constantly, they're idiots because they don't understand that the only way they're ever going to be able to achieve what they really want is with us, right? Because most people want to be with someone who looks like them regardless
Mhm.
of race. And in order to create the future that all of us want, we need each other to create that future and that legacy, right? But when you decide that men ain't shit and these black men's on some other shit and I'm sick of y'all, I'm so tired of y'all, please understand that when you look up in the stands, uh, if you don't, without the support of black men, the WNBA does not exist, period.
but
That
this
is
is
the cohort of a large part of your audience.
the cold part of this shit though. Now, black men are telling other black men, you hate black women. I don't know if these niggas are pandering. I don't know if they think that's going to get them extra points from black women. I don't know if that's what they really mean or if that's just a defense mechanism because they themselves don't fuck with Caitlyn or whoever they speaking of. But it just seems like to me, it's just like you just kissing ass to make yourself look good. Instead of just saying the fucking truth, it's so much easier to pander and try to be on everybody's good side than it is to tell the truth.
So again, winners win, losers lose.
Like these
You
niggas are
don't
really
see
out here mad at niggas for saying fact. It's not like nobody making nothing up. All factual statements. We ain't making shit up. We ain't putting no dirt on your name that you ain't already put there.
Yeah, I think so. First of all, like I said, winners win, losers lose. And you have pimps and you have simps. And
Mm,
you don't hear pimps talk like this about other black men.
man.
You just don't hear the real leaders and men of stature and respect talk
Nope.
about this.
Nope.
So
It's these
the
fucking
only
herbs that try to
right.
pander to women for
Yeah,
whatever
it's
reason.
these, I don't want to call them incels, because that's kind of gotten a really bad connotation recently. But when if it's a man coming up to you saying, "Well, you don't love black women because of this or that," where the hell is your black woman? I got one in my
Right.
house,
And
and you
we
got one
talking
in your house.
right, and they talking to two men that are with black women.
we got they in our
Both of
house
us
right now.
right now. Black
they,
kids back there
they
too.
they gave birth to black children.
Right.
I
Got
got
black
multiple
kids.
black women in my house right now.
Facts.
Like,
What are we
what are you
talking?
talking about?
Got black men and black women around here.
You got a whole tribe. You got a damn near basketball team yourself now.
But I hate them so much that I created more. Like, how does shit, man? You can't make this shit up, man.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid. You can't
It's
fix it.
it's nuts. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I think so. Again, so all my black folks out there, we got to stop this shit, man. We have to stop. We have to stop being pro-black at the expense
Of
of
the truth.
common sense.
Yeah.
like, bro, listen, I support people who look like me as much as I can, as much as the opportunity presents itself. But if the white girl can play basketball, the white girl can play
Play
damn
basketball.
basketball. Like,
Right. What the
nobody
fuck?
said that Angel Reese was a bad basketball player. Nobody said
Right.
that Aja Wilson didn't deserve all these certain things. We're here because Caitlyn is doing some shit we've never seen before, and we want to be along for the ride for as long as it lasts.
And
That's why we're all here.
it's like and especially with black people, it's like niggas gotta negate somebody else to big somebody else up. Like, I
Yeah,
gotta take from somebody to give to somebody else. Why?
yeah,
Why can't we just appreciate what everybody doing in their own right?
yeah. And that mentality is the biggest variable why our people are at the bottom of the barrel in terms of education, in
Yep.
terms of income, employment rates. And
Crabs in the fucking barrel.
because we have just decided that too many of us have decided that the white man / someone who's not me is the person who's responsible for why my life is like this, instead of taking the bull by the horns and creating a better life for yourself and for your family, which is
It's
what you
crazy.
did, which is what I did.
And all the fucked up shit that's happened to me, and just the majority of it, the large portion of the shit that's happened to me and that's not in my favor is because of me. I've
Mhm.
did certain things, or I haven't done certain things to put myself in a better situation. I can't look around and blame somebody else for my shortcomings.
Right.
Can't do it, never will do it.
Yep. Yeah.
So and then when these same people have success and it's just all me, but
Right.
you don't want to take accountability for the bad shit. Like, so I'm done
Whatever.
with niggas. I'm done with niggas, man. Niggas are
Telling you,
stupid.
man, I just hang out with all my white friends now. Like, it's I don't have any of these issues.
It's just getting ridiculous. And I don't even have no friends. So, I'm
I got
doing you one better.
You got to get you some friends, man. Get you some friends.
Shit
Get you some
crazy,
white
man.
friends. Like, we do like Cat Williams. Get you some white friends.
I got some associates. I got niggas I chop it up with. Niggas is cool, you know what I'm saying? But like for the most part, like I don't have like a group that I be, that I like a reliable group that I kick it with. Like I don't have
Well, I
that
mean,
type of shit.
you can't, man. You got all them damn kids. You can't
Yeah,
have no
that's my group.
friends.
All these
Those are
damn
your
kids is
friends.
my group. They take all my damn time. So yeah.
Oh man.
But man,
Justin,
fuck
you in
y'all.
the house again? Yeah, man. I got all these kids. Where I'm going? You think I'm packing up 3 car seats to go somewhere?
Yep. So to sum it up, man, fuck y'all. I'm gonna keep telling the truth. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. You ain't gonna do nothing. All that. Like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
You niggas be fake pandering niggas, man. I don't like that, bro.
What Joe Rogan called them, the little weasels.
I mean,
Can't
fucking weasels.
they can't run fast, they can't jump high, they can't lift heavy stuff, so they had to
Like
find another way in.
like Conor McGregor call you a little twerp.
Damn. Conor McGregor with the 1950s word. Shit, what you been watching the Flintstones? Damn.
Call him a twerp.
Called him
That's what
a
these
twerp.
niggas are. They twerps. wasting my time with y'all on a segment, man.
Oh,
It should be just burning me up. It's something new, man. I guarantee you, before we have another show, it's gonna be some other stupid shit to come out that we're gonna have to talk about. I guarantee you, between now and next week, watch.
just ask them when the next time they're gonna have an hour to come on the podcast to talk about it.
Man,
You got to keep inviting them until they stop. Eventually, they'll just stop commenting if you keep inviting them.
every week, man. We'll see. We'll see though, man. But my boy Warren was supposed to pull up. Warren, I respect Warren. Warren hasn't. I remember I tagged you in a post with him a long time ago, saying y'all two were like the only two like opinion I genuinely respect, because y'all know the games and y'all understand, what y'all talking about. So
Yeah,
he was supposed to come on tonight. I don't know what happened to him. I'll get in contact. Maybe next week he'll be on. But I'm looking forward to having him on as well. I got a couple guys like that I truly I respect their opinions and their insight. So
yeah.
once I get those guys on here, man, we'll be able to keep it in motion. My boy Mari, he another one, so hopefully he could be on at some point. But yeah, man. Anything else you want to add for the show tonight? Because Boston is beating the shit out of Dallas. They up by like 30.
I missed the last 10 seconds of what you said because they had Serena on a commercial for the ESPYs, and Lord Jesus. Lord, Serena and kept that body up, brother.
Yeah, I mean, shit. She ain't got no choice. Serena, one of them girls though. She stopped working out. She gonna get fat because she too thick. She too thick to stop working out.
Yeah, well, she ain't stopped, brother. That's all I got to say about that.
She'll be flabby as hell if she ever stop working out. She be done. All that muscle gonna turn straight to fat.
She ain't, it ain't happened yet.
Give her another 10 years.
I mean, I guess it depends on what she wants. If she's like want to do like modeling and stuff now, I guess she can keep it up. But
yeah, she'll keep it up for a while. She seemed like the type to, she don't seem like the inactive type.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, Boston is beating the brakes off Dallas.
Yeah, because we were on the show, I wasn't paying attention to the game, but I looked up and like, damn, they up by 20. Shit,
it was about 28 for a second, 30. I saw Kristaps Porzingis had like 11 in the first quarter, 4 for 5. I said, yeah, it's gonna be one of them nights.
That damn unicorn running wild.
Telling you, man. I'm glad I picked them in the show to win. So
it's looking good
so far. Me look good so far. I still got it in 7 though. I don't let this shit deter me. So, but anyway, cool, man. Great show once again, man. Fly Free Sports. Like we say every week, man. Pull up. Let's have some fun, man. Let's talk some basketball, man. So just waiting on y'all. Man. Ben, good night as always.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. Wrapping it up, man. Like, share, subscribe, all the above. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Man, subscribe. Let's run these numbers up, man. I want to see a year from now. Great viewership. I want to see this shit progressing. I want to see the results, man. We talking good talk, good basketball talk, certain life lessons here and there in between mixed in there. So this is your one-stop shop, man. Pull up. Fly Free Sports, man. We out.